Hello there. You're a woman. You break down in the middle of the night, and out of the gloom a lone policeman appears and tells you to get in their car to be safe, and he'll organise some help. What would you do? Trust in the police is at an all-time low, even though they spend their time attending events in uniform and twerking their way about the place, no doubt to much merriment of any criminals in the vicinity. Now, to be clear, there are many dedicated and dutiful coppers out there, but they are being tarnished by the horrendous antics of a dangerous few and by the antics of some of their bosses. Especially those who do not come forward when they have concerns about their colleagues. Although if the management system worked properly, maybe the rotten apples would have been weeded out much earlier. As a member of the public, I want a well-trained police officer capable of tackling crime in my local area. What I don't want is a woke, tick-box applicant sitting in front of a computer, possibly at home, and rooting out wrongthink amongst the Twitterati. While according to the Telegraph, the UK somehow lost over 105,000 vehicles to crime in 2021 alone, and only a quarter of them have been recovered, with the police giving it 24 hours before calling it a day, and then it's up to the driver to get the insurance wheels in motion. One assumes the stolen cars are dismantled for spare parts very quickly, or the higher-end vehicles are spirited away abroad. Now 105,000 is only a very small proportion of the 33 million cars on our roads, but tot it all up and they're worth a lot of money to replace, especially on an individual car crime victim basis, where the insurance company doesn't agree with the victim's valuation. This stuff matters to real people. And we need to know that our police forces, or should I say services, are out there busting a gut to catch the perps and recover our stuff. Not to be expected to share our wealth with thieves via insurance policies we have to pay for. Now, the Europol report that the Telegraph refers to shows a sharp increase in organised crime across Europe. And in the UK, police forces seem unable to coordinate nationally, so the true organisation of that crime is rarely recognised and patterns are missed. So this may not just be a police force problem, but more an indication of a gap in the politics, including at the top end of the police rank structure, and the police and crime commissioners. In fact, police and crime commissioners were put in place to ensure that our local police worked for us, and I have to say I'm not sure that particular experiment has been a great success. Especially when you consider that the Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, is also the Police and Crime Commissioner for the Met. Rebuilding trust in the police is not going to be easy. The Labour Shadow Defence Secretary John Healey is demanding that the UK stops defence cuts and starts producing weapons to help Ukraine and to replenish our own depleted stockpiles. And part of his push is for the UK to lead the way for Europe in NATO. All we ever hear from politicians is talking about the UK in terms of its membership of large supranational bodies. Yes, we should be in NATO, but we should primarily shape our defences on the presumption that we may need to defend ourselves, and that NATO as a whole might not be as keen to help us when push comes to shove. But is Healey talking about just buying other people's weapons as part of an EU-based procurement system, perhaps? Or is he talking about beefing up our own defence industry? The former will be welcomed by the pro-EU blob, and the latter will be squashed by the usual woke left. especially if it means diverting public money away from woke or net zero projects like destroying our ability to heat our homes. Now, building and maintaining a proper defence industry for the UK would take a lot of public and private investment, and private investors need to have returns for investing their money. But while we treat investing in defence stocks as inherently evil, investors will shy away from them. We really do need to change that mindset. If we want to really get to grips with defending ourselves properly, we need to accept that investing in defence is a good thing. Now welcome to the land of I forgot. Poor old Nicola Sturgeon has suffered from another bout of amnesia, this time surrounding her husband and his donation to the party that she leads and of which he, Peter Murrell, is the chief executive. And that also comes as Sturgeon forgets whether a certain criminal in Scotland is either a man or a woman or a person, and therefore which prison they're meant to be in. First she referred to Bryson as her in a press conference, then later as the person or an individual. I sense wheels coming off big time. And now there's this loan her husband gave to the SNP. And it's not just a few coins or notes stuffed into a collection tin. No, this concerns a loan of 107,620 quid given to the SNP in June 2021 by Peter Murrell. But after all her posturing over the finances of Rishi Sunak and his wife, and publishing her own personal tax affairs, Sturgeon suddenly has a lapse of memory when quizzed about this particular loan transaction. This money was loaned in June 2021, but in another lapse of memory by someone, it was not declared to the Electoral Commission until August the following year in 2022. It should have been declared within 30 days, not over a year later. And as the loan was made to help with their party's cash flow position, one assumes it was somewhat essential to them. So surely Sturgeon was fully aware of it. So why is she now so coy about it? My husband is an individual, and he will take decisions about what he does with resources that belong to him in line with that, she said. And also she said that it was all his own money and nothing to do with her. So the leader, that her supporters call a master of detail, has once again proved that that is not the case. Or is there another reason? Or are they so loaded that the dropping of the odd 107 grand in a collection tin is not worthy of note? And now over to Richard.
Right, so it's my turn, I suppose, to wade in on the issue of the Constitution and how it underpins our legal system and our judiciary. Yes, very, very interesting subject. One that we are kept in the dark about and have been for a very long time, generations to be exact. I know that Jeff has tried approaching this subject a few times over the past couple of years, and it was met by silence because people just weren't interested. However, things have changed, haven't they? Oh my goodness. Yes, the past few years we have been locked away in our homes and various other bits and bobs have been going on, and people have started to ask themselves, well, do I have any rights? Do I have any legal maneuverability when it comes to being tried? And the answer is yes, you do. Oh, you most certainly do. And I have to say, kudos here and credit to where credit's due to Richard Vobes, the brilliant Richard Vobes, and Neil Oliver. Well done, guys. This is a huge subject. This is probably one of the most vital things that we as a people should know. That we are kept in the dark about the single, probably most important part of the makeup or framework, I should say, of our society. So if the framework is there and the power of the jury goes above that of acts of Parliament and above Parliament itself, then the people need to be educated on this matter. They need to know the truth. So how do you get the masses to wake up and realise that they are actually sovereign? Well, you have to tell them. You have to do it. You, all of us. We have to share this on social media. But I do feel we need to go further, and I don't think the democratic process is the first port of call. No, we need things to be organised on a regional or even local level, and then regional and national, to pull people together, to unite under an umbrella cause, regardless of political persuasion, left or right. These things are meaningless because all the issues we have today with our society and the overbearing state would be instantly removed and would fall away like autumn leaves. Oh, good grief, how poetic am I today? Dear me. I mean, why should we play within other people's rules? The game is rigged. Why do we have to organise and manoeuvre ourselves within the framework of a rigged game? Doesn't make sense, does it? However, I do have one fear, and that is this requires the will of our constitutional monarch. And I'm wondering if our monarch is on the side of the people or on the side of the people he has been representing in Davos. There may be a huge conflict of interests here. I mean, it's not like we have a king who returns from Middle Eastern countries with suitcases full of money, is it? No. Oh, wait. Anyway, do you think that King Charles is on our side and is to be relied on? Let us know down below in the comments. And 5:45, 45, 5:45. See you tomorrow at 5:45.